Greetings everyone, my name is Etterville, and welcome back to my Let's Play of Mega Man Maker. In this episode, I'll be covering a longer Veersmith level, which is titled Mega Man Dr. Wily Revenge Full Game by FailedRobot, with 22 plays and a score of 4. According to the designer, this is an entire short fan game made in Mega Man Maker, totaling over 170 screens long. As always, if you want one of your levels to be featured in a future part like this one, please leave both the level name and level ID either in the comment section below or direct message me on Twitter. Also, as always, the full disclaimer of this entire LP series is linked in the description below. Also in the description are the timestamps for all the levels I cover in these parts, so if you want to check if your level is covered, expand the description. So far, starting fairly easy. This room was strangely devoid of enemies, outside of the one gyri, of course. I presume each one of these stages is going to focus on a different set of challenges and gimmicks. This ones are conveyor belts and gyries. One checkpoint at the start, one at the middle, and one just before the boss battle. And then I'm back out here. So I need to complete all 4 stages at the corners, then access the teleporter at the bottom. This section's gimmicks are the block traps and Yoko blocks. And now foot holders as well. A strangely empty room. There should have been some watchers here. I mean, this is a screen right after the checkpoint. Now moving on to the boss battle. So far both of these levels have been rather easy. Thunder Beam and a Yoshiki. 2 left to go. First was the cutter section, second was the Lex section, now the ice section. Reminds me of the teams from Mega Man 1, although considerably easier. So this section's gimmicks are the Yoko blocks, springs, and the gyro blocks. Why are there 2 random Yoko blocks to the left there? On to the ice boss, probably Iceman. Weak to the electric weapon, just as he was originally. I was kind of hoping this stage would be considerably harder, but guess not. Of course, that may change when I get to the next set of Roadmasters. If they exist, that is. Closing off the elemental trio, we have the fire stage. Frankly, I wish all these stages had more challenge to them. I'm getting the feeling that this quote-unquote full game is designed for a lesser skilled and or lesser experienced Mega Man player. Not that's a bad thing, it's just below my skill level. And by defeating Flame Man, I get the Firestorm and item 2. So let's get out of here. This is the way to get back out in case you don't have all 4 of them. These are even in order. Good. Now all stages do this. I guess this is the fortress stage? One of the situations where I wish this game had a music switcher. Whoops. First time I died in this level, and I prefer if it wasn't possible to skip past that checkpoint. It's only about 8 or 9 screens away, but nevertheless, it's better game design. And the first time you fall down here, you're very likely gonna fall on the spikes and die. Unless you start falling from the left side already. I prefer avoiding this kind of trial and error gameplay, especially the one where the penalty for failing is instant death, and this is not an optional drop either. Once again, there's no indication from above there is a spike bed below. I used my intuition from the previous screen and assumed that. So this is the second set of stages. Good, I thought the stage would end really soon. Wait, these are boss matches, not full stages. Great, he doesn't have a weakness. Let's try this again. One down, 3 left to go. I was hoping for mini stages or full stages, but I guess this works. Of course, these 4 bosses form their own weakness chain. Time Man defeats Charge Man, defeats Bubble Man, defeats the 4th boss. Now let's get out of here. This is for getting out in case we go here accidentally. Sadly, these are not in order for some reason. Probably time to end off the stage by defeating Metal Man. Nope, this stage isn't over yet. There's more to it. On to the next fortress stage. We have 4 Roadmaster stages. We're probably gonna have 2 or 3 fortress levels. At least the stage now is posing a nice amount of challenge to me. What happens if you run out of weapon energy here? Do you get soft locked? Let me check. You can't face off against the bosses again. And I don't see any way you can regain weapon energy here, as there's no weapon respawners. You may want to fix this so players don't get soft locked and be forced to restart the stage from the very beginning. You should also put a checkpoint around for this boss battle. In every Mega Man classic game, there is always a checkpoint at the start of every new fortress stage. Here's what I should have done earlier. This earlier death was on me. I should have paid more attention to what was going on. This room was completely devoid of enemies. There should have been at least 1 or 2 flying enemies to make this somewhat of a challenge, or more variation in the placement of the Yoko blocks. Same with this room being completely devoid of enemies. Now, if this was a regular stage in a Mega Man Classic game, I'd assume that would be a checkpoint room, yet there are no checkpoints here. It feels strange why this stage has a few of these empty rooms. Also, this room should have had a few enemies as well. At least this one actually has some challenge. The previous one like this could have had 1 or more Sniper Joes, or any enemy for that matter. In a way, I feel this stage could have done with some pruning, and making each stage more difficult and have a more distinct identity. I know every stage focused on a different set of gimmicks, and the Fortress stages are combining uses of all the enemies and gimmicks we've seen so far, but unfortunately, the most interesting part of this quote-unquote fan game is the Fortress stages. The rest of the stage is rather forgettable. Should have been better telegraphing for this. And there was no checkpoint. The rest of the stage had frequent checkpoint placement, but why not this one? This feels like a glaring omission. There should have been one in that empty room. Let's try a section again, shall we? This time I'll take advantage of flutter jumping. Oh, and that was it. I double checked. This section of the stage suffers some checkpoint starvation. For instance, the start of this section would be another nice place for a checkpoint. Now we face off against the boss. No checkpoint whatsoever, not even just before the boss battle, which the rest of the stage dutifully did. I feel this is the part of the stage where things start falling apart. The design of the challenges feel rather just going through the motions. We started with the Yoko Block sections not having that much variation, as well as the non-telegraph spike fall sections. That was also the case with the first Fortress stage, but it's worse over here. And of course, the stunning lack of checkpoints whatsoever. In fact, the last checkpoint was actually just before the boss battle of Wily Fortress 1, and that's a large negative against the stage. And considering the rest of the stage feels rather boring, unimaginative, and not that difficult, I say in conclusion, for me, this stage just existed. It was below par to par. For a full quote-unquote fan game, this didn't hit the mark. Nevertheless, I hope you learn from this experience and that your future stages end up being better. I suggest that your next set of stages are much smaller, so you can iron out and spice up your level design. Well then, thanks for watching and have a nice day. Toodles!